Hey everyone, this video is just a pre-recorded live stream that took place at an earlier date. See something you like? Have a try at it yourself, and good luck.
I've got a notepad here and I've written down what I'm going to try and go through the whole stream. I'm going to try and let it run through about an hour. I'm not sure if it's even working at the moment. I'm looking at the stream on my phone and I'm like, is it going to work? Is it going to work? I hope it's working. So I've got my notepad with me, I've got my pen, and I've written down that I think I should go through some things. So counters, they're basically they're triggers, and you add just one counter to the map, and you link multiple things to that one counter to trigger off something else. So if you say, for instance, instead of killing one enemy to open a door or a mover, you could do multiple enemies, so you could multiple doxies or multiple imps, etc. Or it could be anything else. It could just be walking into two different triggers that could trigger that one counter off to open up or make a move. And then the next thing we got projectors here. They're basically, if you go into the main Hogwarts part, the hub, there's like a projection of the window on the floor. And if you go into the actor browser and you get a trigger, not a trigger, a projector sort of actor, you can make it so that it projects a certain texture onto the floor or onto something else. It's completely up to you on what you want to do. Movers, just things that you can add keys to make it do a certain thing. So make a door open, make an animation like that. It's not really an animation, it's a key. You can make grid movers, loop movers. I'm not really good at them, so I'm just going to leave them. Grid movers are okay, I suppose. You can push grid movers. I'm not sure about spells. So you got spawn thingies. So they're basically in the they're in the triggers part, and you can make things appear when they're triggered. So if you walked into a trigger, you can make it so that a wizard card just appears anywhere, or beams are thrown anywhere, or anything like that. Or if you're like me, not like me, but if you've made your own custom spell, you can make it so that when you cast that particular thing, the spell trigger sets off a spawn thingy, which makes something appear. So, for example, my the Incendio spell that was custom made by me and Unworld. I can place a spawn thingy, and I can make it so that when I cast at a fireplace or a fire torch, etc., it gets set off by it. So that's pretty cool. Pop-up triggers. It's working. Yeah, it's working. Pop-up triggers are like little pieces of dialogue at the bottom that appear. So when you walk into that trigger, the dialogue comes up and it says, "Oh, this is what they've said. This is what they've done." I don't know. It could be anything. You could put whatever you want as long as it's in the file of the HP dialogue or whatever it's called. Then you can make it come up. Telepits are what are used in the portrait password. So you walk through one area and you come out the other, and etc. And maybe vendoring as well. Vendoring doesn't actually work in this game because I think, according to someone that I speak to, I suppose, I don't know. Well, according to people, it's tied. Vendoring is tied to some levels, but there's some parts of vendoring that do work, but it kind of glitches out with Ron and Hermione. So it's either you can have the vendoring portion of the game rather than Hermione and Ron, but I prefer vendoring because vendoring's been since Harry Potter 2, I suppose. It's just been in the 1 and 2, the 2 and 3 games, and I quite like vendoring. Like the thought of, because there's no point picking beans up and finding out that you can't do anything with them, so I prefer it over Hermione and Ron. So a huge thank you to Coops as well for helping me kickstart Harry Potter 2 editing though, and a huge thank you to Unworld who helped me mod in Harry Potter 3, and we continue to do that still. We learn something new probably every day, something that he doesn't know, something that I don't know. But yeah, a huge thank you to both of those people, and I wouldn't be here without them. So I'm going to switch the screens over. So what we will need is, where is it? There it is. Is it there? Nope. Hub. So we'll need the Unworld hub, I suppose. There it is. So you'll need to get this hub that Unworld has kindly made, because he's such a gentleman, of course. You'll need to download the hub from his website. I can try and find the website. I think it's something. I'll find it later on, because I'll just drag on and I'll be like, "Arr." Anyway. But you will need this hub. You will need the game and the editor. The editor will be downloaded for you, and the game you will need to download, disc, whatever, however you get it. I can't say anything about pirating or anything, of course not. But there's news, editor, tools. If you go into tools, you can pack your maps and actually upload them into his website, which is really, really handy. And they're also copy protected, so if someone did try and get it, then there's a password and no one can get into it, sort of thing. So that's a really good, handy tool, I suppose. So it's encrypted. That's the word. It's encrypted. I think that's the right word anyway. So choose a map. There's one map that I made that I can demonstrate to you a few things. So launch. Oh no, this is in full screen. Gotta quickly. Ooh. Towel. So if I just take full screen off, I'm just gonna put Harry Potter over. Is it gonna work? There it is. It's a very small window. I'm gonna let me just edit the scene, make it larger. Oh. There we go. So I can walk around. So this is a map I made myself. So if I walked into this bit and it comes out here, so I made this segment of it and go in and it comes out the other side, and you can walk into it again and you can come out the other side. So this is sort of the thing that I'm demonstrating to you in this. And then another thing as well is vendoring. So if I go into here, I'm just going to quickly cast at this to open it up. So vendoring, sorry, the textures are a bit messed up. So the only thing that works in vendoring side are these three things, which you can find in the editor. It's in Keypoint, I think it is, under vendor or something like that. And you can go up to each one of them. Don't have enough 30 box beans. Yep. Right, I'll go and quickly grab some from the side. Just grab 10, or if not more. So there's 12 there. So I can go up to this prop now. Yep, they'll say that. And you can buy it. And it works fine. It replenishes your stamina. It works fine. If you don't want the dialogue to appear, see it refreshes, you can delete Fred and George, and it would just come up with the dialogue, with the whole buy or don't buy thing. Another thing by projectors is this is a projector here on the floor, so it's projecting what's seen at the top there. So it's not actually the window or whatever the static mesh is doing. It's not actually making this pattern on the floor. There's a projector that's up there, and I put the texture in from the actual from that static mesh, and it's just projecting that texture down as sort of like a shadow or like a gradient sort of invisible thing. And yeah, that's how the projectors work. Just close that in case that prefect sees, you know. Another thing by it is that's the dialogue there at the bottom, the Scrivener library. Keep watch out for secrets. So there's a lot of dialogue that I've added into this game that you can just add from the HP dialogue what's it called, the file. There's all sorts of things as well. So such as I keep saying all the time. The terrain out here, so you can upload a height map or an alpha map or something and make a terrain sort of map environment. Just going to quickly run back into Hogwarts. Ooh. Okay, I'm back in. So that was a tele pit as well, sort of thing. So you go in, you come out the other end. There was no other way I could do it because sort of crosses with it. Another thing is movers, so you can make more than one sort of through here. But do it. There we go. So as you can see, the chandelier sways, but gets slower as it goes. There you go. And obviously I've only made it trigger once, and then you can just collect your goodies as you go. The way that you can make it so that the goodies come out like that is you can make the chest spawners invisible, or not invisible, but it's like a, what's it called? The sprite. It's not a sprite. It's something else. I've forgotten. And it's in there, and you can do all sorts. The only thing that doesn't work is the vendors for KW generic students. So if you make them a vendor, they won't work. They'll just walk around like lemons. If you add Harry and if you add Ron and Hermione, the vendoring that we saw in the shop before, where you could go and buy chocolate frogs, doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. It'll come up with 0, and it will say it doesn't work. It'll say when it works. It'll say 0 here, where the beans bit are, and then there'll be nothing here at the top about chocolate frogs, stamina, nothing, and it will say don't buy, or, well, it will just say don't buy. It won't say buy at all. It won't work, and the dialogue won't work at all, and it'll just, your game will just freeze and crash. So I'm just keeping Hermione and Ron out of here for the moment. So the thing that you are going to need is the Unreal Editor, of course. So here's the editor. You should be, hope you're familiar with it by now. But yeah, here we are. So the first thing that obviously I said I was going to cover was counters. So with counters, I'm going to do a new map, and I'm going to, there you go. I'm just the red brush, just plonk that. So I'm gonna add that, or subtract it really, but you know, subtract, and then I'm gonna create that there, probably make it 16, and then I'm gonna go into 2D shape editor. I don't know what that's called. That's what I look. Open, and then you can open some of the archways. Archway 2. Now I'm gonna do archway 1, because you get different doors for different things. So you're going to want to click this button up here called extrude. Oh, it's doing that thing where it goes potty. Yeah, if you click X, sometimes it'll crash. I don't know why. I think it's a bug or something. Not entirely sure. So I'm just going to hope that it's still there. Click that. Quickly go ahead with this again. Click this button here, open, and I'm going to choose archway 1. I'm going to extrude this by 16. So this is the width. The depth is basically equal to width. So width of this. So width, how many of these little squares will it take up here on the map, as you can see on the top. So I want it to take up, this will probably be about 2 squares. I think it's 2 or 3. See, as you can see here, it doesn't flush in. So you could have it like that, but half of it would be gone, or you could have it over and it wouldn't be in at all. You want to lower this as well. Look at the front, and you want to lower the brush down. So in here, you can change the squares of the grid, so you can make the grid much more squarey, I suppose. So you could do it like that by 4096, and literally you can only work with nothing in these, or you can make the squares more sort of, I don't know, in depth, I suppose. I'm not entirely sure, but all I know is that the squares are more dense, so you can work with the things easier. But if you go to stupid ones like 1, then you're always constantly going to be required to be really, really sort of, you're going to need to be so precise. I said precise with it. So it's easy enough to go with a square sort of density that's not stupid, but easy to work with, if you know what I mean. So you're going to want to level this out. So you're going to want to subtract that as well. And if it doesn't fit, you can just move the other brush and build it, not build all, just build the geometry at the top there, build geometry. So that's fine. So in this, I'm going to add Harry. There's Harry there. And then I'm gonna add. Am I gonna add a trigger? I'm not sure. So I'm gonna want to go into actor browser or static meshes, whatever. Open, and then you're gonna want to go into your game. Oh, come on. Oh, it's 'cause I closed it. Go into your game. Go into static meshes of your game folder and get a static mesh called HP3 Interior Arc, which is architecture, I suppose. I don't know. That's what I suppose that's what it means. Go into movers as a group, and you're gonna want to look at the door, which is, I suppose, is it Gothic or something? Gothic door. Yeah, it's Gothic door. And you can choose either of one. I prefer this one. It looks a lot more Hogwarts-like, I suppose. I don't know. And you can go onto the side here, and you see this thing with like the 4 arrows. Right-click it and just press mover, or you can just click on it. Normally, it'll go to mover. So you're going to want to click on it and rotate it around. Sort of play around with it a bit. Sounds a bit weird, but oh well. You want to make sure it looks flush first. That's what leads you to make professional sort of maps, to make it sort of everything sort of flow with each other, and just making things that you wouldn't see in the normal game, just make it as nice as you possibly can. So because that is that way, it's going to open that way, and I don't want it to open that way. So I'm going to rotate it around like that, and I'm going to push it in there, and I'm going to open it out like that. See, and it opens out like that now. So you're going to want to have it shut like that normally, just as it is shut. I'm just going to make sure it's in. As you can see, it's not flush at the top, so I'm going to change it to 2. And I'm going to change it back to 8. As you can see, it's all flush now. And it's the same with this, it's not flush at the top. So I'm going to change it to 2, push up, there you go, and it's flush again. Oh, but it goes back to normal, don't worry about it. So, mover 0, you want to change, well, key 0, you want to change this to key 1. And then you just open it out as you would a door. There you go. Mover 0, that's fine. Mover 1, there you go. And then to test and see if this works, I'm going to add a trigger here. I'm going to go into the events of this, and then I think it's the tag of this. I'm sure it's the tag of the door. So I've written this all down anyway, so yeah, so tag of door equals trigger, event of trigger. So I could just put DR for door, and then put door 1, DR1, and then in the event, change the event of the trigger to DR1. So you want the tag of the door on the event of the trigger, and then you can go into the trigger properties right at the bottom of the trigger, and then do either trigger once or not trigger once. It's completely up to you. I'm going to go into the movers properties, so the doors properties, and go into object and change it from bump open timed to trigger toggle. No idea what that does, but I'm sure it does something. And then where it says return when approached, just do ignore, which basically means if you stand in the way of the door while it's trying to open, it will just go back to how it is. But instead, it will now ignore it if you're there and just open it or shut it anyway. So basically lock you in or lock you out, whatnot. So I'm going to go into textured view, build all. As you can see, it's completely pitch black. You're going to want to right click on one of the ceilings and click add light here. Add light here. Add light here. So wherever necessary you want to add a light. You can make it really dark, really light. I mean, it's better if you could see a light at all, isn't it? I'm going to cross that off for the 2D thingy. I'm going to file, save as. So I'm just going to go into my HP maps and call this tutorial map 1. So that's fine. Build all. It has a null. It will still happen, don't worry. So if you go into your maps now, and you go into your tutorial map, the one that you selected, so in your on-world hub, if you go out of Unreal and into your Unworld hub here, so you can press choose map, and obviously you can't see it on mine, but I can see it on mine, and you just browse for the map that you've saved before, and then you want to click launch game and it will launch. Hopefully it'll come up. Doesn't want to come up. Hang on. It's probably because there's no textures. Just change the textures on here. Textures. So I'm going to just open a pack of textures from here. So Unworld textures. I'm just going to settle with the walls. Walls, that's fine. So you can press Shift B on your keyboard, it will select all. Then you can press Control onto the next bit, Shift B, Control onto the next bit, Shift B. And there you go. Your map is now fully texturized. So I'm hoping this will work, fingers crossed. If it doesn't, then so select. And if it doesn't want to work, I don't know what's wrong with it. See that it will play other games. Oh, nope, we don't want to do that. We would like to play the map. Hang on, let's just play. Okay, well that one works. So that's the Incendio spell I was talking to you about, and how you can use counters. This is a counter that goes into it. So I'm just going to exit out of this now. I just want to see if it'll work. Where is it? Tutorial map 1. So let's launch the game, see if it works. There we go, it does work. So there you go. See, when we walk into the door, if it hits me, it will go back. I don't know why it wasn't working before. So there you go. And that works absolutely fine. So that's just your standard door. So that's when you saw me go up to a door and it opened in one of my custom maps. So whenever you go to any door and it opens, that is when they use a trigger that triggers the mover to move to a particular key. So in this instance, the trigger caused the door to move from key 0 to key 1, and then it goes back to key 0 and back to key 1, etc. So I can exit out of this now, and I can go back into my editor, and then I can move on now to the next part of counters. So if you didn't know how to place Harry, and you didn't know what to do with doors, or you didn't know what to do with triggers, and you didn't know what to do with what's and what, then that's how you do it. So the next part now is you need some counters, you need some creatures, you need etc. So I'm going to go into the triggers. So you're going to want to go into actor classes, actor, expand actor, go into triggers, expand triggers, and then you're going to want to press counter. Don't want to do anything with it, just click on counter, right click onto your map, add counter here. So there's a counter now like floating outside your map. So I've got that. You're going to want to go into pawn now, no pun intended, UW pawn, KW pawn, HP pawn, creatures. I'm going to do HP creatures, it's Poxy. And you're going to want to do Dixie, not Poxy. I don't, is it Poxy or Dixie? Poxy. I've got Poxies here on this piece of paper. I don't know if that's right. I think it's... Okay, it's Poxy, not Dixie. Right. I've written that in capital letters. So, writing notes because I'm not the most confident of people. So you can place 2 Poxies here. I'm going to delete that trigger there, which triggers the door to open. So at the moment I've got 2 Poxies and I've got 1 counter. So I'm going to want to add 1 trigger here. so in front of Harry, so that when he walks into it, so you want to trigger once only, and then you want to go into events, and call the event Poxy, and basically this triggers the Poxies to move. So you're going to want to go into counters now, and you want to go into counter properties, and the number to count is default 2. But if you wanted more than 2, if there was 3, you could put 3. If there was 1,000, so if you wanted 206 enemies that you wanted to defeat before that even think about opened, then do that. You could do anything you wanted. But in this instance, I'm just going to go with 2 because that's the default, and why not? So when these are killed, there's, if you go into events, so destroyed event. So you want to have a tag on this. So the tag is C1. I'm going to call this C1 for the sake of it. And then you want to go into here, and the event, destroyed event, C1. So this all links up as one great big circle. So you've got this which triggers them, you got them which triggers that, and you got that which triggers that. So basically, these two, once these two have been killed, this goes to the counter to say, yep, these two are killed, open up now. So events, so what's the event of this door? DR1. So put DR1 and hope this works. Hope. Sure it will. And if it doesn't, then I'm a very bad modder then, aren't I? If it doesn't work. Extremely bad. Okay, so walk into it. There you go. See, they're starting to move now. Oh, hit them. There's one gone. There's another gone. There you go. And it opens. See, I didn't even need to look at my note. Well, I did for the Pixies bit, but Poxy, whatever it's called. So you've got that over and done with now. But when you go into the level, as you can see, that they're both already there, and they're like sitting there like lemons sort of thing. So if you wanted to, this is moving on to the spawn thingy sort of thing. So this sort of enrolls with each other. So if you go into triggers in actor classes, actor triggers, go into spawn thingy. Don't go into HP spawn thingy. You just want spawn thingy. You want 2 spawn thingies, and you're going to want 1 more trigger. It's not as complicated as you think it is, honestly. And you want them pretty close to each other, the other triggers. Ooh. Okay. You're going to want to delete that one. You're going to delete that one. So that one and that one. I'm going to sort of rotate them around. So spawn thingy. So when you go into spawn thingy, you've got the spawn thingy properties. Go into spawn thingy at the bottom, and there's something called event descend when destroyed. You want to name that C1. So basically, it's exactly the same as destroyed event on the Poxies we saw before. So once these two have been destroyed, it will send the event to the counter directly to the door. The door will open. So yeah, and you want to go to spawn class here, and you want to change this to Poxies. P-O-X. Pixie. Poxy, there it is. And you have to keep this one as well, the other trigger, the one that with the event of Poxy, you have to keep it. Make sure this trigger is set to true. And then you're going to want the tag of this, so you can do this anything, so you can call this Poxy Spawner. And then you put it on the event of this one, and hopefully this should work. So I'm going to save this, build all, and then save, I suppose. Oh yeah, that's fine. Save. So you're going to want to launch the game. As you can see, they're not there, they don't exist, whatever. So you walk into it, there you go, they both appear. Oh, are you going to do anything? They're thinking, nah mate, I ain't doing anything. Maybe it needs to go after. I'm such a bad modder. Unless it's high up in the, no. Events. Yeah, that Poxy spawner works fine. Poxy. Object. So I'll do it after. We'll save it again. We'll launch the game. So you walk into one, they appear. But they don't do anything. I don't know why. I'll have a look at another one of my maps to see what I did. I completely failed at this. I'm such a failure. It's just a glitch. I mean, you'll only learn from what I've done wrong. I'm always doing things wrong. So, go into maps, map 1, map 2. Which one is it? Here it is. So this is an example that I used of it. So you got the event of Poxy there, and that works fine. Poxy. Dixie spawner, true. I did enable it to true, didn't I? Don't know, but you didn't see that one anyway, so. Looking back at the level, I found out that the trigger for the trigger that you have to do for the Poxies, you have to do after they appear. So they appear first, which is here, so the Poxy spawner, which is these two spawn thingies. And then afterwards is the Poxy trigger. So these trigger the two Poxies to start moving. So I can demonstrate this to you now. I'm really sorry for making you wait and disastrous and everything. I like modding, and I'm not the best modder in the world. I won't tell anyone that. But so you walk into it, they're standing there like that means you can't cast them. Walk a bit further. There you go. They start moving, and they will start killing you and everything like that. So you hit one, hit the other. They're both dead. And voila, it opens. So you can either do it as a spawn thingy, or you can do it as a spawn thingy, or you can just do it as if they were already there. You can trigger them in cutscenes and everything as such through a normal trigger them twice, whatever, whatnot. But I'm not going to delve into cutscenes. I'm not good at cutscenes at all. Unworld can vouch for me on that one. Anyway, so that's cutscene. That's counters out the way. You can use dispatchers in counters and all that, so you can make things appear one by one, as in the events are outed. But nah, there's no point. So, but you could also make it so that smoke appears out of them. So, if you wanted to, you could replicate these two, put them near enough on top of each other. Don't put them straight on top of each other. You can edit them. Spawn class, let's spawn sparkles. So spawn a blue flash. Yeah, I think that'll do. So do that, save, you can launch game. And then you walk in, see, there you go, and there's the flashes. And that's how you can make a wonderful map just through a few triggers and a few counters and a few enemies. You can make it so you can make a map that's so entertaining. I mean, just through multiple spawn thingies, multiple triggers, multiple counters, etc. So that's done. You can also do it so that things appear afterwards. So you can replicate these again. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it like that. So I'm going to grab these. I'm going to do spawn thingy, and I'm going to spawn out of the blue some beans. So I'm going to look for some beans. beam bonus, beam pickup. I think it's beam pickup. So you're going to want to rename this now from Poxy Spawner in tag to DR1. So basically when the door opens, these just fly out of everywhere. And you can also change B throw item from false to true. Save, launch game. So walk in, they come out of nowhere, flash, everything. There you go. And they're both dead. Door flings open and nothing comes out. Might be glitched, I'm not sure. Change it to something else, shall we? Should we change it to pumpkin pasties? Something like that. Pumpkin pasties. Pumpkin pasty. I don't know the difference really, so it might be that I have to build all, I'm not sure. I don't really like building all, it takes too much time. So there's 1, 2, fling open. There you go, pumpkin pasties come out. Fabulous. See, there's 8 there. Beautiful. So that's one way you can do it. So you can spawn. So not only can you use counters through just killing enemies and opening a door, but you can also use spawns. You can use triggers to trigger spawn thingies, and they can spawn sparkle effects or lights or emitters or dust particles or beams, pickups, all sorts of things. So that's just some of the things that I needed to show you, wanted to show you, because, well, it's important. I suppose some of this is missed out. I will I will upload this video to YouTube so that you can all watch back and you can see what I've done, try and replicate that, I suppose, without seeing all the mess ups I've made in this little video, I suppose. So anyway, I've done this now, and select, I'm gonna leave this, I'm gonna undo everything actually, I'm gonna leave this. If you want me to, let me know in the comment section, and I will take this map and I will upload it to Onworld's website, which I will definitely show you the website for. So I'm gonna save this, and I'm gonna open a map, and I'm gonna open the map that I used before as thingy. So this is the whole sort of map, it's huge. So this is the projection here, and this is the projector. So as you can see, the projection's the next thing on my list. So I'm gonna get my little notepad out. I'm gonna cross counters off because we've done that. I'm gonna cross spawn thingies off because we covered that. So all I've got now is pop-up triggers, movers, and projectors to kind of go through with you all, even though I spent like an hour on counters. So I'm going to quickly walk through this with you. So basically you've got a projector here. This isn't a trigger, it's an actor, I think. It's in the actor classes, so it's an actor, I think. So this is being projected onto the stairs here. As you can see, it's here. The blue thing going out shows how much it's being emitted by, or what it's going out to, or whatever. So if I pull this back, the reflection goes back with it, or the projection. I'll call it reflection, but well. And yeah, so I'll show you in here now. So you can go into actor classes, actor, and just press projector. That's literally just there. You can right click on your map, add projector here, and there you go, there's your projector. So if you can go into that, go into projector in projector properties, and you can scroll down to projector texture. You can change this to anything. So I could use HP walls, hog wall, whatever that is. I don't know what it is. So I don't know what is this gonna do. See, look, as you can see, it's made it really quite orangey. So I can change all of these options here, make them true or false. So if you wanted to, you could project it on unlit surfaces, on terrain. You can do it as a gradient. See, look, as you can see, it changes it here. Make it gradient. You can project it onto an actor. It's already true by default. The field of view, FOV, you can change that up, and you can change that down. You can do it to whatever you want. You can do it to 100,000, whatever. And I think that basically means how like zoomed in it sort of is. I'm not sure 100% on that one. What else is there? I've lost my camera, my projector. So as you can see, it's sort of going out as like a zigzag. So as you change it 100, the blue sort of thing gets shorter. So you change it to 500, the blue gets wider. 1,000, 10,000, 10 million, whatever you want it to be. Yeah. Also, material blending OP and frame buffer blending OP. Change that to add. Change them both to add. No idea. I just saw this in the Hogwarts hub and used those settings, default settings. Always remember, if you're not sure what to do, so if you want to do something and you're not sure how to do it, always look back at the maps that EA have made and try and refer to it at the properties and what they've done. So that's projectors, and that's projecting from textures, and that's all from that one. So the next thing, I'm just going to cross this off because that's pretty easy. The next thing I'm going to do is pop-up triggers. Pop-up triggers are even easier, I suppose you could say. So go to actor classes, triggers, and trigger, I think, and pop-up trigger. There it is. Shouldn't be that hard. So you right click on the floor, add a pop-up trigger, go to pop-up trigger properties, go to trigger along the bottom. You can make it trigger once or make it not trigger once. I'm going to untick this. Pop-up dialog ID. So you're going to want to go into, I don't think you can see this, but I will. So hang on a minute, I don't think you can. No, you can't. So go into your computer or this PC, whatever it's called. Go into your local disk C and go to wherever your Harry Potter is installed. So I'm going from local disk C to HP3 _ UW, which is where your file should be transferred from and to when you get your Unworld hub. You're going to want to go into System and find something called hpdialog.int and open it with Notepad Plus or whatever program you got, just normal Notepad, I suppose you could say. So there's Notepad Plus there, and this is all of the dialogue used in the game. It might look a lot, but it's not really much compared to the PS2 versions, etc. So at the bottom, you can add anything. You can add your own dialogue. So if you copy the one from above, so I'm going to copy this one that I've just used. I'm going to paste it here, and I'm going to rename it from 202 to 203, or whatever one isn't being used. So you can do that. You're going to want to do _ Carl. This is just the way that they say it. It doesn't really matter. Honestly, it doesn't. And you can put whatever you want. So you could say, wow, this place is enormous. I don't spell that. Is huge with an exclamation mark, just to emphasize it. So you're gonna want to copy that, what you've done, including 203. No, yeah, including not the equal sign. And you're gonna want to. Let me just untick that one, and then go back into this. And you're gonna want to go into this. Dialog ID equals whatever you've done. Pop-up duration. This is how long you want it for. And this is in seconds. So if you do it like that, that's 5 seconds. 0.5 seconds. Well, no point. And if you want it for a minute, 60. An hour. I don't know how long an hour is. But you know what I mean. So I'm going to do this for 5 seconds. And if you go into trigger, you can change how long it will take before it re-triggers, but when you go back into it. So re-trigger delay, I might put 10 seconds. I hope that will work. It should work. So I'm going to do that. Going to go into this, choose map. Make sure you've saved it at the top. So hpdialog.int, save it. And I'm going to want to go into the map that I've done that in. Launch the game. And there you go. It's come up now. So if I walk into that now, it'll come up with that. Wow, this place is huge. Oh, excuse me. And then you can walk back into it again. It won't work. Wait 10 seconds. So I'm just going to sit here like a lemon, you know, for a couple of seconds. Walk back into it. Wow, this place is huge. So it has a delay in it. It's not going to constantly go off. It's like in here. I added broom cupboard. And this will only go off whenever, whatnot. So let's go into it again. There you go. Wow, this place is huge. So it'll work for as long as you want it to appear and for when you want it to appear. So if you wanted to, you could have it appear and then have it not appear at all, which is trigger once only. But you can, it's the engine, or not the engine, but the editor, it allows you to customize so much of the game and allows you to probably go further than what the developers did because they didn't have that much time, because you can put that much time into your maps if you wanted to. It's just, don't go overboard, don't make this a career, just make this into some sort of hobby, because that's a bit over the top, isn't it? So pop-up triggers sort of covered, well, I hope they're covered. If you need help with any of this, please don't hesitate to contact me. Contact me through Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, whatever, through Unworld if you want to, I don't care. Another one is movers. Movers is pretty easy. It's the same with keys and everything. So if I go back into that map I had before, nope, I don't want to save. This is it here. So I can, the mover only has 2 keys. Well, really 2 keys, because it's 0 and 1, which is classed as 2. So you've got 1 key there, shut, another key there, open, wide open. So, and you could do another key for that. So you could do key 2, and you could have it so it's slightly open. So this is like a slamming effect. So 0 closed, 1 fully open, 2 kind of closed, 3 it will always go back to key 0. So you just want to reset it there. So don't go right back. Go back a little bit further. Mover 4. Do it like that. Key 5. And this is where it ends. So that's 5 keys altogether from 0 to 5, but that's the equivalent to 6. So you want to go into number of keys. You want to go into the mover properties, go under mover, and change from number of keys from 2 to whatever that is to 6. I think that's how many keys there are. Yeah, that's fine. So always do 1 more than what you've done. Anyway. But if you've done like 13 keys, which is impossible because they only actually do 8, I think. But if you've done 13, you've done 14. I don't know why it does that, but it just does that. So if I go into here now, it should work. I'm hoping it works, because if it doesn't, then oh well. Oh yeah, and you want to change the key from 5 back to 0, so that means when it's shut in its original state, otherwise it will just snap back shut. So will that go to, that's the main one. So I want to change the map. Map 1, tutorial map 1, there we go. So if we launch that map, there we go. So there you go, they've appeared. They're moving. Hit them too. There you go, and it will do it like that. See, and it is really cool. This is what I did with the chandelier, and it gives the game a better effect. You can make the mover open faster, slower, whatever you want. But it gives that game extra character. It makes the game look as though it's emphasizing what you've done. So if you're making a door open with Alahomora, you can make it so it slams open or slams shut or whatever. So you can do it really fast with loads of thingies. But what I mean is, like, but going back to the spawn thingies, you can add spawn thingies to the door like here, and you can make it so that smoke appears or that sparks appear when you've casted Alohomora to emphasize what you've done, to that door or what you've done to that mover to make it do that. So it's just about what you've done, sort of thing. So key 5, but always remember 1 extra. So there's not 5 keys, there's 6, but that's what it is. But if I go into move properties, I'll show you a few things. If you go into mover, I think it's mover, you've got move time. So if you do 0.5 in move time, it's going to move a lot faster. If you do 2.0, that's going to move a lot slower. So it's just that sort of it's that sort of thing, really. But I'm going to keep out the default of 1 because I think it's alright actually. But yeah, I think that's it. And there's a few things I want to show you actually. So if I go into here, if I open, do I save? No, I don't save. Maps, and I go into my main one that I made. I'm just going to delete this pop-up trigger because I don't need it anymore. You can change in chest spawners. You can change what you want. So if you go into chest spawner properties, go into KW generic spawner, and it has a whole load of this all in here. So if you want to change the time it takes for goodies to come out, you go into goodie delay, and you can change this from 0.1, so 0.1 second, to 1 second, which will take ages if you're spawning like 50 beans or something like that, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to keep that as 0.1. I've also got to show you the chandelier. The chandelier does not just randomly have beans in there. If I do search, and because you can't select it normally, and you do spawner 2, there you go. Somehow you can press it. So double click on the red thing, and it'll come up. There you go. Chest spawner properties, and that's it really. Go into K generic spawner like before. And as you can see, the goodie delay, there's no goodie delay whatsoever, so I did it as 0. So basically it all flies out at once, because basically when the chandelier moves, the chest moves with it, and I don't really want that effect. So I did it as a 0. Also, to make the chest invisible, you can go into display. This is still under chest spawner properties, and you can change the draw type from like mesh. This is a sprite, so this shows you what it could be. I think this is like a chess piece. So this is what it is, and you can change it to anything. I wouldn't go too far because it crashes, I think, on some of them. But you want to go from mesh to sprite to none, and none basically means that the mesh doesn't exist. It's invisible. And this is what they did with gargoyle heads and all that. So if you see those gargoyle heads sticking out of like the walls, so like say there was one here, they made a spell trigger like this one here, and they put it by the chandelier, and then they made it so that the tag of the spell trigger or the event of it or whatever triggered off the chest and made the beans just fly out of the gargoyle, and that's what gave the game such a good effect, because you didn't just have beans coming out of this random chest spawned in the middle of nowhere. You could actually cast at a random thing. You can even make it cast at a wall, and beans would just fly at you from anywhere. So that's a really good thing. Another thing as well, with movers, you can add more than one key, like we showed before. So if you wanted it to open out like that, go in and go onto the side. So it's in its side now. So it does 3 keys. I think this is it. This has 3 keys. I think it is. Yeah, 3 keys. So even though it's on the second key, and yeah. So you can make a mover go in and then go to its side or whatever. So that's what you see in like Harry Potter 2, where you cast at that crack at the wall, it would go in and then slide down or slide up or slide to the side or whatever. So it was it just gave the game a great effect. But I think that's about it really. That's all I need to cover. You got secret actors, so it would say how many secrets there are. You got wizard cards, etc. So yeah, I've just shown you some secrets, blah blah. Vendors don't really work. Challenge shields don't work. I suppose, I don't know, they don't work, but in the future they might. I'm not sure. That's about it for this, I suppose. But I can't think of anything else I need to go through with you, or with any of you out there. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that. But I will give you the website now for Unworld's website, I think. There it is. So this is I can't show you one here because it won't let me. I don't know why. I'll try and get it to work. Oh, oh, hang on. Hang on. So is that going to work? There it is. So, this is the website. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Edit scene. Let me just bring it out a bit, I suppose. I don't know. It's not letting me. I'll change it to my browser. See. Entire. See, the browsers don't really like being recorded on here, so I'm not sure if it's just me or if it's just being itself. I'm not sure. Nah, it's not going to work. I'm seeing it from my mobile. It's not working. So I'll untick that. But this is how it looks like when you go onto it. I will paste the web address into here. So it's unworld.x10.mx. So I will show you on Notepad+. So this is the website here. You can find me at HummuxBoy here. I have been a member since January, but I haven't been the most active person on it. And yeah, special thanks to OnWorld. And I hope I will probably do this again. I've actually really enjoyed it. Now that I've actually got into it, I've actually really enjoyed it. And please, 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 please sign up to this website. Sign up to our Harry Potter modding community because it's I like doing this. I think it's more than a hobby now. It's more of an obsession, really. It's just enjoyable. You make something out of this editor, and you make it how you want it to be. So if it's something in the game that you see and you don't, and you want to see, then you can make it. I think you can make it happen. But I think this session's been quite successful in terms of needing to stop and getting a bit confused and stuff, because in fact I've actually written down a whole page full of notes for Spawn Thingy and for the counters, and I haven't even needed to look at them, only for the poxy bit, and that's fine. So I can cross off movers, cross off vendors. There's only Telepits I need to go through now. Ooh, Telepits now. So if I just quickly go on here, cross this off, and go into editor, I can show you how Telepits work. So you got two different actors here. So there's something called a Telepit, and then there's something called a nav shortcut. So basically, you go into events, and the tag of the shortcut links to the event of the Telepit. So if you go into the Telepit here, the event is 7th to port point. So basically, this means that wherever that the nav shortcut is for this, which is up here, it will teleport to it. So I'll show you a little demonstration now. So if I go into here, trigger, I'm sure it's in here, Telepit switch. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. Do that. Trigger. TTT, UW trigger, UW triggers, spawn thingy. Or it might be in info. No, navigation point. I'm just going to find it from here. So if you right click this and click edit script, then it will say what it extends. So KW trigger. Where's that? I'm such a thicko. Trigger, KW trigger, Telepit, there it is. Whew, yeah, mental breakdown. So right click, add Telepit there, and then you got to find nav shortcut now, which I don't know where it is, even though I found it earlier. Navigation point. Info. Okay, it looks like we're looking at the scripts for this as well then. Edit script. Okay, so it's in key point. Oh, key point. So key point, nav shortcut. Well, there you go. You know for the next time. So add one there. You want to change the tag of this to, I don't know, I'll call this 1. I just can't be asked. So I do not recommend that you name it 1. So 1, and then the event of this is 1. So you want to trigger it not once, but you know what I mean. So let's change my map to this main hall. You see, there you go, a normal level. Walk this way. There you go, it fades out. Oh, should fade back in, but oh, it's killing me. Why is it killing me? Oh. I'm sure that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There's no reason why it shouldn't work. Unless we just change the events of this. Let's just call this Tele1. Save. In fact, let's build all. It could be because I haven't built all. You know what I'm like? I don't like building all. Hate building all. It takes too long. If it was left to me, I would never build all at all. Okay, there you go. So, walk to the left, please. Nope, it's not working. It's something like that. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because I doubt any of you will really use Telepits. It's probably because I'm not using. Am I using the right one? Telepit. Nav shortcut. Telepit. Yeah, I'm using the right ones. It's just not working. I don't know why it's killing me. This is absolutely killing me at the moment anyway. So I know it's a bit of a flop, but you know it's there, and if you try it, it'll probably work for you. But probably because it's for me and it doesn't work. There was something else I wanted to show you all as well. What else? Yeah, there was something else I wanted to show you. So I made my custom spells, so spells that aren't in the game at all, and you can edit, add them. Here it is. I added some spells in, so I've got here. There we go. Some secrets. This is supposed to be a vendor, but it doesn't work. It's even coming up in here. Nope, it's not. There it is. So this is my Reparo tutorial map. So this takes you through. You can use Incendio on the 2 thingies. They both fly up, see, and you go through and you go up to the spell book and you learn Reparo and the door opens. So this is just a tutorial map. So Reparo can be used to repair broken objects. For instance, this bridge needs to be repaired. To repair an object, simply cast out and wait for the Reparo symbol to appear. So Reparo works for, as far as I know, of all characters. So Hermione and Ron, if you want to use them, I don't know. And I've spoken to Elmworld about this, and he might put them in the, I don't know, he might put them in the launcher, the hub, as an add-on or a sort of a modification, a mod-on if you think about it. But you can, it's like a spanner icon. I designed this because I'm awesome, but there's no sound for him. So when he casts Reparo, there's no spell sound, which is quite a bit of a bummer. And I'd love for there to be a sound. It'd be really cool. But let me just stop wittering on for a minute. So, and as you can see, all the bridge slats are on the floor. I call them slats. And they need to be repaired. How weird. So I just cast out Reparo, and they all come up. And these are all done through keys, and I made it so that you can trigger this more than once, of course. And then all of the bridge slats sort of go back up and go back down. But if you want to check out that map, let me know and I'll put in it down a link. So you can fix broken walls and pieces of debris lying around it. So cast at that, there you go, and it goes back in. I can come upstairs. Repair can also be used to repair and clear obstructions like this one up ahead. So there's an obstruction here, can't get through. Well, couldn't really get through before, but oh well. And I didn't add any more to this point. And you can cast out, it'll put it together, and it will slide it back into the wall. And you can continue doing that to your heart's desire. And that is done, well, the kite-shaped one was done through 2 different keys there, and that one was done through 1, and it just came together, and it goes back into the wall. So it's pretty cool. But if you would like to try it, then let me know, and I will. I love playing my own maps. It's so sad. I'll put this as a link. Please. Oh, I forgot all about me. Oh well, but I use that one as that one. I want to expand on Incendio, and I also added in Wingardium Leviosa, but it has no purpose. As of this moment, I used it in one of my maps to make something rise, but it didn't really work as planned. It just used keys. I added something called Lumos Maxima. Obviously, you'll know what that is. Something called. Yeah, I added Lumos Maxima. I added Defender. Defender has no use because there's nothing to break in the game. If we can get the ropes imported in from Harry Potter 2, and with its little animation-y, cutty things, then we can import it into HP 3 and use Defender on it, hopefully. Scourge would be nice. I haven't put Scourge in this game, but it'd be nice because I quite like that from the last one. I'll show you Lumos Maxima that I used in it, and there are some glitches with the spells, so. But that's just how it is, I suppose. I don't know. So here we are in a very dark room with a chest. There's a chest here, like a chest spawner, if you like. Is it coming up? Yeah, it's coming up, that's fine. Cast out of the chest, but I can also cast out above me here. So this is the Lumos Maxima icon, and it creates any sort of glowing light in the air, which isn't actually supposed to happen, but it's used through a spell trigger and a spawn thingy. So basically the trigger is hit and it spawns the thingy, which causes the light to appear. There we go. And it makes that, little ball of weird light, and I made it so it doesn't, you can cast it more than once. And there you go, you can now, and that light will stay there forever and ever until you exit the game or whatever. I also attempted moving staircases, but that didn't go to plan. If you want this map too, I can send it over a media file. I need to do these levels. But the only thing that does work as such is the Gryffindor thingy, I think. Yeah. And the Amoirs, there's Amoirs in here. You can go up to the board and dialogue will come up. I'm not giving away too much, but I will try and work more on it. But that's about it. But that's it. I think that's all I need to cover in this little an hour and a quarter, whatever, video, stream, whatever. And that's it. But please, let's bring it up here. Go to the website here shown, and log in, sign up, whatever. Follow me, follow Onwell, follow whoever. And add maps, and tell people across the world, whatever, that you can make your own Harry Potter maps, and they'll be like, oh, I want to do it. But you know, hopefully that they'll want to do it. But it's been, I don't even want to leave. See, I just don't. I don't want to stop this little stream. But I was really nervous to begin with, and I'm fine now, I think. But I've got to go off now, and I've got to edit this video and plonk it on YouTube and whatever. So, but I really do hope that you've learned something from this, and yeah, subscribe, or even though you probably already subscribe to me or whatever. But and then yeah, subscribe whatever, and tell everyone across the world. And it's fine. Thank you, and I'll see you whenever.